Hello everyone, welcome to my kingdom, or welcome back to my kingdom if you're returning. Thank you for existing. Today I'm here making another candy corner video, and I just wanted to show y'all how you can make like pretty cute singles out of just random found objects that break off, like a zipper. I found a zipper and I wanted to make something out of it, and these pop tabs. But anyway, I'm still doing a giveaway at 1K. I actually made this really cool bracelet that I wanted to show you all for a second. It's kind of a take on those early learning bracelets, or not bracelets, but early learning toys. Here's like a button bead, so like you can actually button. There's a bunch of squishy beads on it. There's this one that like you can spin. There's this squishy duck. Yeah, and then this. I was trying to think of something that made noise that wasn't annoying, so I just put a bunch of colorful pop tabs on there, and yeah, I mean, I made it kind of like a mid-length so that anybody could pretty much wear it, and it's something nice that you can mess around with while you're at the rave. And then I made this as well, which is a super cool. You can put earplugs in here so that they don't get dirty. You could put your party favors in here. You could put, you know, basically anything that is small enough to fit in here. If a bracelet breaks, you can put your beads that you can find in here so that you can remake it. Things like that. If you find random things, like I even have kept these on my backpack before and just put random shit in them. If y'all have anything to say about any of the topics that I mentioned, make sure to sound off in the comments below. I love having conversations with you in the comments. It's honestly, it makes my entire life so much better and worth living. First thing that I want to mention and talk about is my old YouTube videos that are still up, because I privated probably about like 200 of them, but I kept like 100 or so up. And yes, they're super embarrassing, and a lot of them I was like between the ages of like, I don't even know, like 12 or 13 to like 16. I tried to get the ones that were like too early, just get those off the internet. And plus I made videos with like my friends when I was a kid, and I didn't want to just like have videos of my friends from when I was a kid that I'm not friends with anymore still up, so I deleted all those. Well, privated them. But yeah, I worked really hard on those when I was a kid, and it meant a lot to me, so I thought just deleting them would be like kind of like messed up to my childhood self. Plus there's a lot of people who grew up online, and I'm like not the only person. Not that I fully grew up online, because I did take a break for a second, which I'm really glad I did, because I was in like a real bad way. And honestly, that stuff, if I would have recorded anything that I was doing between the ages of 18 and like, you know, now, it would have been really messed up. Like I was going through a lot of bad mental health problems, so that I wouldn't want to keep that stuff up, you know what I mean? But yeah, I worked really hard on those videos, so I feel like it's important to keep them up. Also, it's important to see where I've come from and stuff, you know? I went through a lot when I was a kid, and I feel like, you know, and I put a lot of work into those videos. I remember I would go to school and people would like, the people that knew I had a YouTube channel would like put it up on their little iPod touches and stuff and on their phones and like laugh at me because they knew I had a YouTube channel, and it was like really embarrassing. I mean, like I did start when I was like 11 years old, so there was a lot of videos that were up at the time that people saw, and I really just talked, man. I was on a lot of medication when I was a kid. Luckily I'm not on them anymore, so I mean, medicine's different for everybody. I'm just really sensitive to a lot of things, you know. I now have PTSD, and I know a lot of other people who have anxiety and PTSD, and it doesn't even show in the same ways as intensely as mine does, and they have been through a lot worse than me. So I'm just saying, like, I'm just really a sensitive person. I've always been that way, so it just doesn't work for me, and it really made me like way too high, basically. And y'all may be wondering, like, you know, you're a raver, you must eat Molly all the time. Like, no. I had a few years where I did do that in the beginning of my rave times. I was really into that kind of stuff, but now I just go for the music. I mean, I drink, smoke weed, I trip, but I don't really like to do anything else beyond that because it just messes with me too much. It's like, I don't know, it's like the after effects of doing hard things messes with me like for days. Like I have bipolar and PTSD and stuff. I can't just be like messing with my psyche like that. I don't know. And also I was dependent on medications for so long when I was a child, so I feel like that's part of the reason why I don't really, like, I'm tired of it now. Like, my brain is used to all that shit, and it's like, yo, give me something that is not me being zooted out to the point where I can't function, because I grew up like that, and it's kind of messed up. But I try to take it as a positive thing as much as possible, which is like, because I couldn't control what happened to me and stuff like that. So even though I was put on all these medications and stuff, and it might have stunted my growth and done awful things to me, I am like sick of drugs now. So I don't want to do drugs in a scene that is full of them, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's protected me a little bit. But yeah, I just wanted to address my old YouTube videos and stuff, just in case they come on whenever y'all are watching. So yeah, I made that one with the zipper. I really love making bracelets like that. It's like my favorite thing ever. The next topic I really wanted to talk about was people talking about virginity all the time. I just think it's ridiculous that it's such a normal discussion to bring up. I mean, I know people are like open about their sexual lives and stuff and all that's fine, but I just think it's crazy because most of the time whenever you lose your virginity, it's like before you're old enough to know what you really want in life. And for a lot of people, it's stolen from them, if you know what I mean. Like, in my case, I was essayed whenever I was like 13, so I didn't really get to pick who or like when or any of that about the whole virginity thing, and it was just very traumatic for me. It was horrible, and I didn't really know what to think, and none of my friends knew what to think. And now I remember like multiple occurrences when we'd just be at house parties, me and my friends, you know, and people just bring it up. They're like, oh my god, how did everybody lose their virginity? And it just puts me on the spot, dude. Because, like, you go around the room, everybody's asking each other, and then I just try to stay as silent as possible and hope to God that, but it never does. The question never skips me, and every time it comes to me, I'm just like, well, it was stolen from me. I didn't get to pick. I don't have, like, a cute, fun story like, oh, y'all, I have this, like, fucked up story. So, it just, like, really pisses me off, because a lot of the times people don't get to pick that stuff, and it really shows a difference in, like, people's experiences and stuff, and you never know what people go through. So, just try to be a little bit more mindful of that. In general, next time maybe you or your friends are at a party or around a group of people, maybe try to avoid that question. Or if you have the courage or the heart to speak on it, say like, hey bro, not everybody has a good experience with that. Because I've had to literally stick up for myself in a group of 20 people listening to me talk on the spot about something horrible that happened to me when I was 13. Obviously I'm talking about it now, but that's by choice. I chose to sit down here, and I was preparing myself for this moment since like 2 days ago. I literally wrote down what I was going to talk about in this video, and I've been preparing myself. But whenever you're like, just sexual stuff just needs to be less out there on other people. Like, you can be sexual on yourself, but stop like asking other people what their shit is without asking if you can even ask them about it in the first place. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to ask for consent about consent. I get it. So be like, hey, are we down to, is everybody in the room down to talk about fucking sex right now? And if we're not, then the people who aren't then can get up and leave. Like, that's what I would have done. If that person would have been like, who wants to talk about losing their virginity? I would have got up and left. But instead, it was like, everybody just came around and they're like, oh yeah, how'd you lose your virginity? And like, bitch really just came up to me and asked me. And I was like, are you fucking... So weird. Another thing that is weird to me is how people like always sexualize people talking, like acting like a kid and stuff. It's like, Okay, so a lot of the times whenever people act like children, they have like childhood trauma that they're repressing. So for me, at least, that's how it is. Like, I was heavily traumatized whenever I was like 8 to like 13 years old. It was like whenever it was the worst. And then the aftermath was just like my mental health deteriorating from like 13 to 19. And that's why I had to like stop doing YouTube at 18, because I was just down bad that I had to just not be on the internet anymore for a second. At least videos for people to see like what I was actually going through. But now I'm a lot better. But anyway, so now I've gotten to the point where I feel like it's subconscious, and then I've also embraced it because I embrace who I am. But like, I start to just literally act like a child and need help doing the simplest shit. And like my partner, my boyfriend, usually has to come to doctor's appointments with me and help me like hold my things and like help me read sometimes, because I have dyslexia, so sometimes it's hard for me to read all the stuff under pressure and stuff of like, you have to be in the office at this time. And plus, like, I have problems with being in like confined spaces and hospitals and stuff like that. So it's already hard enough for me to be there. I've been actually called out before, and people are like, oh my god, you act like a child. Like, obviously, I'm 22, and I love Hello Kitty, and I love all this other shit that on the surface looks like I'm trying to portray a childish aesthetic, but like, I'm not doing it for a sexual purpose. I'm doing it to cope with something, many things that were very serious and traumatic for me, and I didn't really choose to do it. I didn't know that that's what I was doing until all of a sudden, like, I noticed that I got really offended whenever people sexualized me, and I got really offended especially when people would sexualize me whenever I'm having these moments of like coping with whatever's going on in my head and acting more like a child than the average 22-year-old. Most people my age try to act all grown, like they've done all this shit. I mean, like, I am grown. I mean, I have my own house. I do what I can in life. It doesn't mean that I don't sometimes need somebody to hold my hand. It doesn't mean that I don't need somebody to sometimes hold my shit for me, to breathe something out loud to me, to repeat something to me a few times to help me understand something, to like have a comforting stuffed animal to hold on to because I have sensory issues. You know what I mean? Like, there's some things that just are comforting, and I just feel like people take these comforts and they twist them and like pervert them to the point where I'm just like, that's you doing it, not me. Like, that's your brain, not mine, honey. Don't try to push this weird, nasty ideology onto me like I did something, but I didn't. I'm not trying to be one of them bitches, because I really don't care. I love a bad bitch. I really do. I mean, if you see my Instagram stories, I am constantly sharing images of hot women and people, and theys, gays, bays, all of them, okay? I love hot, sexy people, okay? I have nothing against people being hot and sexy. It's more like I have something against when somebody comes up to me and shows their sexual ideologies or sex questions or advances onto me when I don't want it, because I never want it. I never want somebody to just come up to me and be like all up in my shit, you know? Maybe a pretty lady after talking a little bit and like actually dancing with her and like having a good time, like maybe after you ask me if it's okay first. All I'm saying is ask for consent first. About anything. Literally ask. You literally will do something stupid, and then 3 months later, some bitch will call you out, and you'll forget you even did it because you were a drunk motherfucker when you did it. And then you'll be like, oh my god, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, well, if you would have asked for consent first, maybe you wouldn't have done it. So, here's the next one I made. It's kind of bag. Your favorite kind of bag. 2 member shoes. Please sound off in the comments below. Anyway, yeah, these are the 2 things I made. All I really wanted to talk about was my old YouTube videos and like stop being a sexual motherfucker about random things. I feel like they kind of go hand in hand, because when I was a child on YouTube, it was terrifying. People were always asking me for very vulgar things, and I was like, you know, 12 to 16 years old most of the time when the height of it was. So it was just like really traumatizing. Okay, so there's a reason why I'm like the way I am. I'm just trying to explain that. I hope you enjoyed my video. Like, comment, and subscribe to get into that giveaway. I have an Instagram where I update you guys on all the fun things that are going to be in there. I'm going to probably make like a drawstring bag as well and some other cool shit, and then I'm going to buy some stuff for my friends that are also artists. I hope you enjoyed this video. Anybody can be amazing if they just be themselves. Thank you for watching another Candy Corner by King Plur. I love y'all. Have a great day and life. I love you. Yeah, goodbye.